How did ancient people build structures so massive that they still dominate the horizon 500 years later? How could a civilization without cranes, engines, steel, or modern machinery move millions of stone blocks weighing several tons each? Today, we're going to uncover what historians and archaeologists now believe is the real story behind the construction of the Egyptian pyramids. And by the end of this video, you'll see why the truth is far more impressive than the myths. The pyramids of Egypt are among the most famous structures ever built. For centuries, travelers stood before them in disbelief. Ancient Greeks wondered how such monuments could exist. Medieval visitors created fantastic legends to explain them. Even today, millions of people visit Egypt and ask the same question: how did they do it? The largest pyramid of all, the Great Pyramid of Giza, contains roughly 2.3 million stone blocks. Some weigh as much as a family car. Others weigh considerably more. The monument originally stood about 146 meters tall, making it the tallest human-made structure on Earth for nearly 4,000 years. Just imagine that. The Roman Empire rose and fell. Entire civilizations appeared and vanished, yet the Great Pyramid remained. But here's something surprising. The pyramids were not built by slaves. That popular image, thousands of chained workers being whipped across the desert, is largely a myth. Archaeological discoveries tell a very different story, and that revelation changes everything about how we understand these monuments. Because if they weren't built by slaves, then who built them? And how did they organize one of the greatest construction projects in human history? To answer that question, we need to travel back more than 4.5 millennia. Back to a time when Egypt was becoming one of the most powerful civilizations on Earth. Back to the reign of a king named Khufu, and back to the beginning of one of history's greatest mysteries. Around 2580 BCE, Egypt was thriving. The Nile River flooded predictably every year. Its waters transformed the surrounding land into fertile farmland. This annual cycle generated enormous agricultural wealth, and wealth created power. The pharaohs of Egypt were not merely rulers. They were believed to be divine, living links between the human world and the gods. When a pharaoh died, Egyptians believed his spirit continued its journey into the afterlife. His tomb therefore needed to be worthy of eternity. Earlier kings had been buried in structures known as mastabas, large rectangular tombs made of mud brick. Over time, these evolved. Architects experimented with increasingly ambitious designs. Then came the step Pyramid of Djoser, a revolutionary monument that changed architecture forever. For the first time, builders stacked stone structures upward toward the sky. It was a dramatic leap forward, yet it was only the beginning. The pharaoh Khufu wanted something even greater. Something no one had ever attempted, a monument that would proclaim his power for all time. The result would become the Great Pyramid. But before a single stone could be laid, another challenge emerged. Where exactly should it be built? The answer was Giza, a rocky plateau overlooking the Nile Valley. The location provided stable bedrock capable of supporting immense weight. Yet selecting the site was the easy part. Building the pyramid would require solving engineering problems unlike anything humanity had ever faced. First came the planning. Modern surveys reveal something extraordinary. The Great Pyramid is aligned with remarkable precision to the cardinal directions: north, south, east, west. Its accuracy rivals that of many modern structures. How did ancient builders achieve this? Historians believe Egyptian surveyors used observations of the stars. Night after night, they measured celestial movements, carefully marking reference points, creating one of the most accurately aligned monuments ever constructed. And this was only the beginning. Next came the stone, lots of stone, an almost unimaginable quantity of stone. Most blocks came from nearby quarries. Workers cut limestone directly from the Giza Plateau, using copper tools, wooden wedges, stone hammers, and extraordinary skill. The process was labor-intensive. Workers carved channels around stone blocks, inserted wedges, applied force, and gradually separated enormous pieces from the bedrock. For finer materials, they looked elsewhere. The brilliant white limestone casing stones came from Tura across the Nile. The massive granite blocks used inside the pyramid travelled from Aswan, more than 800 kilometers away. Some weighed over 70 tons. Think about that. A stone heavier than a modern tank, moved across ancient Egypt without engines, without railways, without trucks, without cranes. How? This question puzzled historians for generations. Then archaeological discoveries began providing answers. Ancient paintings show workers pulling statues on large wooden sledges. One figure pours water onto the sand ahead of the sled. At first glance, this detail seems insignificant, but experiments revealed something remarkable. Moist sand reduces friction. The sled moves more easily. Less force is required. A simple yet ingenious solution. One that may have transformed transportation across the desert. Imagine standing on the Giza Plateau. Thousands of workers pulling ropes in unison. Foremen shouting commands. Stone hammers striking rock. Dust filling the air. The sounds of one of history's largest construction sites echoing across the desert. The pyramid was not built by isolated labourers. It was an enormous national project. Recent discoveries have uncovered workers, villages near Giza. These settlements contained bakeries, sleeping quarters, medical facilities, food storage areas, and administrative buildings. Evidence suggests workers received food, shelter, and care. Many were skilled craftsmen. Others were seasonal labourers recruited during periods when the Nile floods prevented farming. Rather than slaves, they appear to have been organised labour teams serving the state. Some crews even gave themselves names. Names like Friends of Khufu or Drunkards of Menkaure. These workers left behind traces of pride and identity. A human story hidden beneath the stones. Yet the biggest mystery remained. How were the blocks lifted? Building upward was the true challenge. Transporting stones across level ground was difficult. Rising them more than 100 meters into the air was another matter entirely. Many theories have been proposed. Straight ramps, zigzag ramps, spiral ramps, internal ramps hidden within the structure itself. Archaeologists continue debating the exact methods, but most agree ramps played an essential role. As the pyramid grew taller, workers likely extended and modified these systems, gradually raising stones layer by layer, course by course. Year after year, the process required astonishing coordination: food deliveries, tool production, stone extraction, transportation, surveying, engineering, administration. Everything had to function together. Failure in one area could halt the entire project. This wasn't merely construction. It was logistics on a monumental scale. One of the greatest organizational achievements of the ancient world. And then there's another mystery. How long did it actually take? Ancient records suggest roughly 20 years. 20 years to complete one of the most famous buildings ever created. If true, that would mean workers placed hundreds of blocks every single day for 2 decades. An incredible pace. Yet evidence increasingly suggests that Egypt possessed exactly the administrative capabilities required to accomplish it. What appears impossible today becomes more understandable when viewed through the lens of a highly organized civilization operating over generations of accumulated knowledge. Eventually, after years of labor, the monument was completed. But what modern visitors see is not what ancient Egyptians saw. This is one of the biggest surprises of all. Today, the pyramids appear rough and stepped, their limestone cores exposed. Yet originally they looked dramatically different. The outer surface was covered in polished, white casing stones. Under the Egyptian sun, the pyramid would have gleamed brilliantly, visible from great distances, a geometric mountain of light rising from the desert. Its polished sides reflected sunlight across the landscape. For ancient Egyptians, the effect must have been breathtaking. The pyramid was not simply a tomb, it was a statement, a declaration of divine authority. A monument intended to connect earth and heaven. Nearby stood temples, causeways, boats for the afterlife, and an entire sacred complex dedicated to the pharaoh's eternal journey. The pyramid was only one part of a much larger vision, a vision linking religion, politics, engineering, and human ambition. Hapatal, Interoption. But here's where the story becomes truly remarkable. The greatest achievement wasn't the stone. It wasn't the size. It wasn't even the height. The greatest achievement was organization. Millions of stones do not arrange themselves. Tens of thousands of workers do not coordinate themselves. Complex supply chains do not emerge by accident. The pyramids reveal something profound about ancient Egypt. They reveal a society capable of extraordinary planning, a civilization that mastered administration long before modern governments existed, and a workforce whose skill continues to astonish experts today. For generations, people searched for exotic explanations, lost civilizations, ancient super technologies, even aliens. Yet every major archaeological discovery points in the opposite direction. The more evidence we uncover, the more human the story becomes. And perhaps that's the most incredible part. Because the truth doesn't diminish the achievement, it magnifies it. These monuments were built by human beings. People with simple tools. People with determination. People with knowledge passed from one generation to the next. People who solve problems through observation, experimentation, teamwork, and persistence. In many ways, the pyramids are not monuments to mystery. They are monuments to human potential. Today, more than 500 years after the first stones were placed, the pyramids still stand against the Egyptian sky. Empires have disappeared. Languages have changed. Religions have risen and fallen. Yet these structures endure. They remind us that history is filled with achievements that once seemed impossible. And they remind us that behind every great monument lies a story, not of magic, but of people. People who dared to imagine something enormous. People who committed decades of effort to a single vision. People whose work would outlive them by thousands of years. The next time you see the pyramids, don't ask whether humans could have built them. Ask something far more fascinating. What kind of civilization could organize itself so effectively that it turned a desert plateau into one of the greatest wonders the world has ever known? And perhaps even more importantly, what other extraordinary achievements from the ancient world are we still waiting to fully understand?